Will and Ralf joined us now. Great to see you, boys. Thank you for coming
you
in.
Too.
We've watched the first episode of the new series. It's brilliant. It's the two of you together. It's just lovely watching two great mates going on this voyage of discovery. That looked like a lot of fun, though, Will.
Yeah, and honestly, something I've always wanted to do because I've been to drag shows, and me and my missus, when we're away, we all see shows, and every time I've met these drag artists, they always said there's a drag in everybody. You've got to find your inner drag. And I thought this was our opportunity to go and do that, and we did it on an amazing stage, the Vauxhall Tavern.
Vauxhall Tavern, Raw Vauxhall Tavern.
And we had to perform, so it wasn't just put the gear on and mess about. We had to reel it.
We were part of a proper drag show.
Yeah.
And it's like Will says, when he goes, it was something he'd always wanted to do, and he was like, there's a drag in all of us. I was like, I'll give it a go, but I can't see that it's something I'm going to be that into. And it was really interesting. Like, we walked in and all the gear was there. And it took Will quite a while to kind of go, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. I walked in and went, those boots.
Knee-high boots.
Yeah, I put them on and I was like, I feel alive. Like, this is, I've been born to
The
this.
inner drag was
honestly,
much
I've
closer
never
to the
felt more
service.
sexy and powerful in my entire life.
And also,
I feel like that might be the real me and this is just a character.
I love the adjectives that are being
Yes,
thrown
yeah.
around.
the most
Sexy
out
and
of character.
powerful.
It's probably the most out of character we both ever felt. Like, it was so not us as soon as you put the gear on. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's an amazing, amazing experience.
But sometimes you put yourself in these situations as well where it's kind of terrifying.
Well, the
That's
whole
sort of the point,
The point of the series was we could just go around the country messing around, but we wanted it to mean something, and it's always putting ourselves in situations where it can be tough, it's going to be funny, it's got all sorts going on, but there's a reason why we're there. Every episode's got a theme, so there's fear, there's teamwork,
Communication.
Masculinity.
and we're challenging them questions, but putting yourself in situations that you wouldn't find yourselves in and not knowing how you're going to
The
react.
rescue, I was like, how are you doing that and still able to
Can we
breathe?
just remember, before the rescue, because we're just looking at the tanks.
Oh, yeah.
This was all about communication, using good communication to help each other. You are a qualified tank driver.
Well, yeah, I was waiting for a moment to pull the driving licence out, and this was it, and perfectly in front of him, because I knew we were doing the tanks and he didn't. So I brought me a little driving licence, because I did it on a show years ago where I had to learn to drive a tank in the army.
So he's got an actual licence.
He has a tank licence. I was furious.
He can't.
I took his tank licence and I went, oh, great, and just threw it into the mud. I was like, that's what I think of that.
How good was his driving, though?
Terrible.
Well, no, listen,
Terrible.
it's a tank. It does basic things, but it's not comfy. When you get to a certain age, everything hurts. Oh, you're banging your knees, your elbow, your head. But that was about communication, and it was an amazing day.
It's very funny, it's very funny. And to the point that Kat was making about the emergency rescue scenario you go into, where it's like a disaster team, and you have to practice going into really confined spaces.
Yeah, these guys, you know, in real life, they're a voluntary team, and they get their first port of call. They'll just get a text going, look, there's been an earthquake or a natural disaster or something in Haiti or somewhere like
wherever it might
that.
be.
And they're on the next plane out, and they're within the first 24, 48 hours, crawling through buildings to try and find any survivors and rescue them and drag them out. And that is what we did. And it was tough, and it was about teamwork, and it wasn't so bad for me.
It was an exercise. It wasn't an actual building. It was
a
where
simulation.
they train, a simulation. But I suffer with claustrophobia.
Yeah,
and it was
tough for you.
But again, it was about teamwork, and that's what this first episode's all about. And what you do in a situation when one of you struggles.
There was.
And usually it's me struggling.
There was a yeah, a little bit. There was a moment. Will went first, and he's like, it was really interesting. He said that, like, there was a moment where he was crawling through a tunnel, and he stopped, and I had to be like, you're all right, you're all right. And he said, oh, maybe when I get to the end of this tunnel, in his head, I'll be able to breathe.
It was like
and then
I
he
was
had to realise
underwater.
that he wasn't underwater, he could just breathe anyway.
Because I thought, if I go in, I can't see the exit, and it was this.
But there's this great moment where we get to, like, the next bit, and there's a survivor, you know, somebody who's pretending, who's helping us train. And she's like, what was her name again?
I can't remember.
So
Nora.
Nora, that's it.
You thought it was Nora.
Yeah. It was the best thing in the world. She's there, and she's sort of going, oh, I'm sort of half unconscious, and he's like, and I'm crawling through, and he's already there, and he's like, I can just hear him going, Nora! 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 And then I come through, and he goes, her name's Nora. And she just went, Laura. Jesus, come on.
There was another guy.
Should have said, leave me.
Yeah,
leave
exactly.
me.
There was another guy who's broken his leg and all that, and he's got all this stuff on him. And he's going, ah! And I was going, you're right. He went, you're standing on me leg.
And again, I'm behind, and I come through, and he's like, he's broken his leg, and the guy's like, and you're standing on it.
I was stood on a plank that was on his leg, so we weren't the best, but we really give it a go.
It feels like it's a good way of ruling out the things that you shouldn't be doing, Will.
Everything.
The whole point of the series is Will and Ralf should know better. Is, you know, the only way you learn stuff about yourself or about anything is going having a go at it. I think some people have an opinion, but go and do it. I mean, we
Yes.
do wheelchair
Well,
basketball,
Yeah.
with drag queens, we go all around the country.
We stay in
train.
Britain's most haunted house.
Yeah, we do
Or as
that
I like
in
to call
episode
it,
3.
a house.
He doesn't believe in anything. I was terrified.
Were you?
Oh, and I
it
was
awful.
messing with
You
him.
must have
Did you
lied.
feed into
Oh,
that, Mike?
did I feed into it?
We had to do a
I
seance in the
basically
cellar.
became a ghost.
Well, he's looked like one for a while.
Hey!
Ever since the 2 Pints days, a bit like Casper, very pale.
What about, as well, the tour? Because I know that you've got a tour and you've got a phone and a big red button just
Yes.
in case.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a-
November Nonsense Tour.
We have a phone and a big red button, which is mainly for my use because we'll be on stage and anytime I think Will's saying something where I'm like, that's a bit much or a bit
gonna get
close to the
cancelled
bone,
here.
I just go bang and sirens go off and it just distracts him at the right moment. So
And the phone is for the producer.
For the
call
producer
us
to be like,
say,
guys,
like, guys, go off,
change
go off
subject.
We want to carry on. But it's for our podcast too. What's our podcast called? Two Pints of
with Will and
Ralf. We get confused. And our November Nonsense Tour starts in November. We're at the Dominion in London and we're all over the country.
The November Nonsense Tour in November.
It's funny that,
The
isn't it?
clue's in the title. I forgot it myself.
Just quickly, what about remaking of Two Pints? It feels like lots of things have come back. It feels like it would be prime for that to
You
get,
think so?
get you all back.
I think so, since it's on TV pretty much every day.
And I
Yeah,
think it's
well,
still the
repeats are
highest
there.
rated show still on telly that's repeated on their channel because people nostalgic and they loved it.
Of
And
course. And you've all grown up. It would be really interesting to see what's happened to you all
Yeah.
now.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
we
look,
think so. We've said we'd do it, but
Part
yeah.
of Will and Ralph Should Know Better, obviously, which is what we're talking about. What I think is interesting is back in the day, we were sort of like Britain's lads, archetypal young lads when I was 22 and he was like 35, whatever it was. And
few years
we
older.
were Britain's lads, and now we're both unarguably middle-aged men, and the world has changed. It's 20-odd years later, the world has changed, we've changed. And I think that's what makes Will and Ralph Should Know Better really interesting and funny.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing could very well apply to what a version of Two Pints would
We
look
did
like.
have a script, we pitched it, and BBC turned it down, and they just said they don't want to revisit it. But it doesn't mean it's over.
Yeah, we're
No.
open for
Yeah.
business.
It was called
Any streamers,
Two Pints Last
come on in.
Orders. We could
Yeah.
easily
Well,
do.
maybe you and Dave. That's where you are now. They
Yeah.
could bring it back there.
Oh,
Why
yeah,
not?
that's a good idea.
Me and Ralph are up for it, so if anyone wants to make it, let's do it.
Well, Will and
Lovely.
Ralph Should Know
Smashing.
Better on you and Dave. Let's get Two Pints back on there.
Too right.
Smashing.
Lovely to see you both. Thank you for popping
Good to
in.
see you both.
The boys
Too
keep me
short.
seen, and Will and Ralph Should Know Better tonight at 10 o'clock on You and Dave. The first 3 episodes are available to stream.
Oh, hello.
on you.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.